is what happens when Windows updates and messes with things. I knew this was going to happen. I don't know what that's going to need to do. Is that going to actually come? Will that fix the problem? Have I actually fixed my my problem here? Yeah. Now that that's actually happened, I'm now wondering: do I need to go through and check all of my settings to make sure that it hasn't actually messed something else up? I really apologize, people. A lot of these things don't actually get simple. Any kind of update that software does can mess up everything. Let me just check the settings to make sure that they haven't messed up that. That's all right. That looks correct. That seems right. That looks right as well. Audio, okay. Okay, all right. I think I've got it sorted out. I don't understand why it keeps bringing that up. So let me just make sure that that is actually completely off, because I don't want that coming through. Okay. Hi Shiner 81. Welcome. Please let me know if there's any problems with the video, but particularly the audio. I noticed it almost immediately when I was trying to talk and nothing was coming through. And Dr. Zephon, how's it going? Okay. Right, look, let me get rid of these earplugs, because there seems to be definitely sound coming through, and that means I can actually start doing this. Okay, the first hassle along out my way. And where did my poll go? I had a poll. I had placed up a poll on the channel, and my poll has vanished. It literally disappeared, people. It was there, and then it's gone. Okay. Let me post up the poll again. Is this the first time you have created a rogue character for Dungeons and Dragons 5e? Is this the first time you have created a rogue character for Dungeons? Yes, no. And then no. Go down here. Unfinished character. I do apologize for all of this. Literally, this update seems to have affected everything. And then unfinished character, and then I'm just watching, for those of you who are just here to watch. Okay, so let's see if it lets me put this poll up. Okay, there's the poll. It's actually gone up this time. Last time, apparently, it didn't. Hello, Jeff. Sound is good. To enhance the performance of yeah, I really don't think YouTube are necessarily that interested in what I do, and you know, never mind. Never mind. Okay, but it's not about that. It's about you guys will either find me if you're interested or you're not eventually. Okay, let me just go over to my screen. So I almost forgot to say, if you are building a character for the first time, okay, and if you're wanting some assistance, we're actually going to build a character. So I'm going to explain the process, I'm going to demonstrate it, and we're actually going to do it. So my suggestion is have your phone open so you can listen to me and watch what I'm doing, because I'm going to do it on D&D Beyond this day. I won't be doing it on pencil, on paper, or on a PDF, a fillable PDF. That will come in the future probably. I apologise for this. I'm really struggling with all of the weather and so forth. So open up your phone, watch me and listen to me, and then you need to have either a piece of paper or a pencil, or you want to have your laptop or your computer open so you can build your character using D&D Beyond or some other software package. And I'll work your way right through the whole process of building your own rogue or character in Dungeons and Dragons 5e, okay? So that's definitely going to happen near the end. There will be some Q&A as well to cover all of that. And we've wasted 7 minutes fluffing around, so let's get into this because enough's enough. All right. Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, because I usually do talk about Dungeons and Dragons. This is the Dungeons and Dragons 5e Lesson Plan 1 for beginner character creation. And my intention today, if you haven't figured it out, is to talk about like how to build your own character for Dungeons and Dragons 5e if you're not familiar with the process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through character creation, the pre-check, before we do anything, the pre-check that we would normally need to do, okay, to ensure that we don't have any hassles. Character sheet formats. So player character sheets have different formats, so I'm going to cover them. The character creation basic steps, obviously the thing that you're going to need to know the most. And then advanced character details, how to fill in all of the more advanced and complicated details for your character. And then, of course, we'll do miscellaneous recommendations, but just because I finish up on miscellaneous recommendations, that doesn't mean I have actually finished, because we'll also cover the character class essentials for a particular character, and that will be the rogue class. I'm going to be covering the rogue class for today. So if that's what you are here for, you're in the right place. My objectives is I'm going to explain everything as we go. I'm going to demonstrate, and I'm going to get you to participate. So I would advise that you have your fingers ready, some dice ready. You might need some dice as well, and you'll need to start coming up with some ideas, because I'm going to ask you a lot of questions and I need you to give me feedback. Okay, that's how we do this. This is how we do it. We make characters together. Now, there are a lot of character builders available on phones and on the computer, different software packages. I'm going to be covering D&D Beyond. They have a character builder which is freely available for Dungeons and Dragons 5e. It does not include all of the options, but it certainly includes some of those options. Okay, let's talk about the character creation pre-check. This is a lot of the stuff you'll cover in session 0 with your Dungeon Master, and to ensure that you get everything done correctly. Okay, so first off, check with the Dungeon Master what character player options are available to be run, okay, so that almost every single Dungeon Master has a different set of rules and how their table works. So it's always wise to find out what house rules they have as a Dungeon Master with regard to character creation. So what can you use and what can't you use, and also any house rules regarded to how they play the game, because that will affect how you select things. That will affect how your character works, and so you need to know that information as well. Build your character for the campaign on the information provided. So whatever information the Dungeon Master provides you, that's what I want you to work on. Now, if they don't give you any information on the adventure or the campaign, without giving away spoilers, we don't want to give away spoilers, that would be bad. Ask for the relevant details that you're allowed to know about the adventure and the campaign, so you can make a character that fits the game. You don't make a character and then try to have a Dungeon Master fit 4 or 5 different characters into a campaign. That's completely nuts. So you go the other way around, okay? You build the character to the campaign. It's much easier for a Dungeon Master, it will be much easier for you, and it will be a better play experience ultimately. Character creation always starts as a group discussion. Dungeons and Dragons is a group game. It is a discussion game, okay? It's essentially, that's what it is. So because your character is part of a team, and there are other players in your team, they are part of a group machine. So every character that is being played by somebody is a cog or a part of a machine, and they work together. So it's like playing team sports. You have to actually work together, come up with a battle plan together, do your training together, develop everything, the skills, figure out who's going to be doing what on the field, and the same thing applies with Dungeons and Dragons. So do all of that. So don't build your character alone in your bedroom or at the coffee table with nobody else around. Certainly have some ideas, but you build your character with the group. Design characters around the 3 pillars of play. That is exploration, social interaction, and combat. All of these are very important. All of these will come up in almost all games. Some might specialize more in one than another, but that's sort of beside the point. If you don't want to be left behind and find yourself unable to do anything in the game because you've only focused on combat or you've only focused on exploration and nothing else, then you're going to miss out on about 2/3 of the game. So don't make a one-trick pony. Make a pony that's your character that can do everything that it needs to do to cover those 3 pillars of play. Some things you'll be good at and really good at, and some things you won't be that good at, but you will be able to participate, and that's the main thing. Ask your Dungeon Master what ability score method is going to be used. So when you actually generate your ability scores, what method will be used and when can you use it? Will you be using the point buy system, standard array system, or will you be rolling dice? Now, if you're going to roll dice, you almost always find that Dungeon Masters require you to roll those dice in front of them or with the group. So please don't roll dice for any ability scores unless you are in front of the Dungeon Master. It's not deemed a good habit to get into. So yeah, just a warning now. This is to make sure that nobody feels like you are cheating or making things up, okay? Determine what hit point method you're going to be allowed to use and when. Are you going to be taking the average or are you going to be rolling your dice, okay, to determine hit points as you level up? And again, the same thing applies, is when you're rolling those dice, make sure you do that in front of the group, in front of the Dungeon Master, so that nobody can accuse you of cheating. Okay, so we've covered the pre-check, all the things you would normally do before actually making any kind of character. We've got all the information we need. There are some different types of character sheet formats. The first one is your standard paper character sheet, which will usually fill in with a pencil. You could use a pen, but you can't rub out a pen. So I recommend, since you're going to be changing a lot of stuff on here and having to remove things and change things as you level up, use a pencil and use a rubber or eraser to rub it out. Okay, right, fillable PDF character sheet. They're quite common. You can find them on the official Dungeons & Dragons website and other websites, downloading them and using them. Very simple. You fill it out, you sign it, it saves, and then you can go back and make adjustments when you want to. There's also D&D Beyond's Character Builder, but there are a lot of other online character software packages, third-party software on phones, which is really useful and helpful, and also on the computer, on websites and so forth. So if you feel like that would be a better choice for you, then so be it. I would make one comment about your character sheet and the format that you use. It's fine to have your character sheet on D&D Beyond. It's fine to have your character sheet on your phone, but you always want to have a paper copy just in case technology fails you. And technology has failed me on more than a few occasions, and suddenly I have not had access to my character sheet, and you don't want that. Yes, you can lose a paper copy of a character sheet, but it's always better to have a digital version and a physical paper version as well, just in case. All right, so that covers the formats. Let's look at the basic steps for character creation. Okay, character creation has some basic steps for character creation. Okay, character creation has some very basic steps that we run through, and I'll go through them fairly quickly, and then we'll move on. Select the level of your character that they are starting at, okay, and write that down on the character sheet. Not all campaigns will involve building a first level character. Some campaigns start at level 3, some at 5, or maybe even higher. And you'll find that usually if you're dealing with a beginner campaign where there's a beginner dungeon master or beginner players, you'll start at level 1 rather than at level 3 or 5. Experienced groups often will start at level 3 or 5 depending on their preference. So figure out what level your character you're building first. Select the class for your character that you like the idea of playing and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. So the classes for the Dungeons & Dragons 5e, most of them are in the player's handbook on page 45 to 119. There are supplements, but check with your Dungeon Master whether you can use those additional supplements. This has subclasses, and there is also the Artificer and some of the other supplements. It's been reprinted so many times it's not funny. Select the race for your character and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. So you'll find races, a lot of the races, but not all of them, are in the player's handbook on page 17 through to 43. There are lots of additional races in different supplements. Again, you need to check with your Dungeon Master that those races do exist in that world that you're playing in, and that they are available for you to play, okay? There's been a lot of change around races. I want to talk more about races, but I'm going to do that a little bit later, because I know a lot of people sort of get fixated on race, and so we'll talk more about that. Select the background for your character and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. Backgrounds can be found in the player's handbook on page 125 to 141. Background does not need to synergize with your character class or your race in any way, shape, or form. Okay. In fact, even though there are sample backgrounds in the player's handbook, there are additional backgrounds in different supplements, but there is a small section in the player's handbook that says you can make your own, and also that you can adjust them. You just need to have sign off from your Dungeon Master. And I recommend considering this, okay? It's going to probably wind up being the default in the future. Select a feat for your character if you get a feat, and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. You'll find feats in the player's handbook on page 165 to 170. Feats are optional. Not all Dungeon Masters use feats in their games. Not all groups play with feats. Some do, some don't. And not all feats will necessarily be available. Sometimes it'll only be the ones in the player's handbook, and sometimes your group will be playing with feats from different sources. So you need to have a discussion. This is all that stuff I sort of said around the pre-check before we build our character. Okay. Determine the character's 6 ability scores, the most vital aspect of the character in terms of the numbers. In terms of the numbers, not in terms of everything, but in terms of the numbers. So you need to know what method are we going to use that's been approved by the Dungeon Master that we're going to utilize for creating those 6 ability scores. And you'll find the information on those systems are on page 12 and 13 of the player's handbook. So that is our basic steps, but there are some advanced things we need to do before we move on, and I thought I would cover them. If you are deciding that you're going to play a spellcaster, then selecting spells for your character is going to be reasonably important. Write down the relevant details on the character sheet for what spells your character knows, and there's a difference between spells known and spells prepared, and then spell slots, which is different again. I know this is all confusing, but I will cover these sorts of details in a future video, so don't worry about that. Spells, you'll find most of them are in the player's handbook on page 207 to 289. If you're new to the game and you're not very familiar with the spells and you can't remember how they work, please write down the page number as a reference beside the spell when you write down the spell on your character sheet, okay? When you write down your list of spells, right beside it, put down the page number in the player's handbook that you can reference to go and find out how it works. Select or buy your equipment for your character and write down the relevant details on the character sheet. You'll find equipment is in the player's handbook on pages 143 to 161. I recommend going with select your equipment and buy. Use a combination would be my advice to you. That will simplify everything so you don't have to spend hours and hours calculating everything. Okay, now that we've done those things, the worst part of the character sheet now has to be tackled. And what is that? Calculating all the maths. There's all the mathematics that needs to be figured out. And it seems daunting because there's so much of it. But once you know how to do it, it's not too difficult. You need to calculate your ability modifiers. You need to figure out what your proficiency bonus is, which is usually going to be pretty easy to find. It's usually listed on the table for your character level. You'll find out what your skill modifiers are. So when you need to roll a skill, you know what to add to that 20-sided dice roll. What your saving throws are for your character, your armor class, your hit points, what your initiative is, your passive perception, and any other passive checks that the Dungeon Master might be using, such as passive investigation or passive insight. Your weapon attack bonus, very important. Your weapon damage formula, I'm not going to go over all of that because weapon damage formulas are so different. It depends on what you're using. Your spell attack bonus and your spell saving difficulty class. This is if you're casting spells and something has to resist it. And then, of course, you're going to select or draw a character portrait. It's not vital It's kind of nice. It helps connect the concept in your imagination to the physical world, or a physical medium, and your character portrait does not need to be seen by anybody. So it's a very personal thing. If you want to do that, you can. If you don't, that's fine. It's always fine to write down what they look like and just use written, just write it out rather than draw a picture. So those are the essentials in terms of dealing with the character sheet and the information that you'll need on there. But I also have some miscellaneous recommendations. These are things that normally come up that people get fixated on, and I wanted to just go over them very quickly. The character's background can be anything you want it. So there is no need to select an optimized, pre-made background to fit the character that you are making. It's your own. Make it your own, adjust it when needed, get your sign off from your dungeon master. Backgrounds are a great part of the character, and they will give you things that you didn't have before. You're going to get skills, you're going to get equipment, you're going to get proficiencies in tools or musical instruments or gaming equipment, things that open up different options rather than I blast something with magic or I shove my sword into the monster's gut. Okay, so don't get fixated. It does not have to synergize with the character class or the race. It's just the background. It's what they were doing before they started adventuring. Now, race. What race you select no longer has any real bearing on the character, as it's so flexible now. If we take a look at what is happening with Tasha's, that is if your group is using the rules around the new races, then really it doesn't matter. You can pick anything. Any race can do anything, and has always been able to do so. The only thing that was holding people back is the fixation on the maths. That when you started off with a level 1 character, you must have at least a +3 modifier or a 16 in your primary ability score. And that's not really true. It's nice if you can, but you can play any race, okay, with any class whatsoever. So feel free to explore and see how it works for you. And in some cases, you can actually make your own races. You need to just get sign off by the Dungeon Master. There are some very basic rules in the Dungeon Master guide around how to do that. And there's a lot of different races, variations now. Like even the same race has different sort of publications for it. So it can get very confusing. So make sure you're using the right one for your table. Select adventuring gear. I think one of the most key things is go and pick up some adventuring gear. A lot of it is very cheap. Like it doesn't cost you very much at all. A few copper, a few silver, you're going to have some money to spend, so you might as well spend it on something useful, okay? Any player character, any player, doesn't matter what you're playing, can go and buy adventuring gear. So make use of it. This is how you prepare yourself. You're going to use it to assist you while you journey through your adventure. I've made whole series of videos. There's a whole series of videos that just talk about how to use mundane equipment in your game without having some codified thing that's stuck in a book. A lot of this has kind of been lost to time, but since I'm old, I know this stuff, and I also got a lot of assistance from the community. So buy adventuring gear. It's actually worth your time, so do it. Okay, so I'm hoping that that was useful to you, but we're not finished. First off, I need to have a small drink of water, and I will go into the rogue. Okay, I want to warn you right now. Building a rogue is actually quite difficult. If out of everything that I have done with my group, and my group has been playing a long time, the rogue caused a lot of time sink. Like we did argue quite a bit about what was going to be effective, what was going to work, what people needed to know, what people didn't need to know, and so. And also I've done quite a bit of research, and so have my other players in my group done quite a bit of research on how we deal with rogues, okay? Everybody has their own particular focus, and this was the problem. And what we essentially determined was building a rogue's actually not easy. Okay, but let's give you the basics. Dexterity should be your highest ability score because it's directly connected to how well you can fight in combat, but also your key skills. Okay, the thing that you're going to use the most. Like rogues are coined as being the skill monkey in the group, that they have lots of skills and they can do a lot of different things. So it's not just about combat, it's actually about the different skills that you're going to be using in the game. It's wise to increase your dexterity to 20 reasonably quickly rather than taking feats, but I will talk about feats very shortly. After dexterity, we decided that constitution is your second most important ability score because this relates to how long your rogue will survive in a battle. And we're going to try not to stick our rogue in the front line, of course, but that doesn't make any difference. You will be targeted at some point. Rogues have a lot of different options with regard to ability scores after this. And this is where it gets complicated. Because rogues are so varied, and because rogues are also a sort of a specialized class, you can have lots of different options. So some rogues will need to benefit from wisdom, and some rogues will benefit from charisma, and even you can have rogues that will benefit from intelligence, depending on how you build it. Okay, they can be very important depending on the archetype or subclass that you select for your character. But don't get too caught up in those. Okay, sometimes it's important, sometimes it isn't. But I just wanted to say it's not that simple. Proficiency with stealth and perception, those two skills are kind of expected from a rogue, because you are meant to be the scout and the operative who is covert. Now, whether you're leading the group or striking off on your own ahead to do stuff, everybody's going to always expect you to be the one who can sneak around and spot stuff before everybody else. Okay? Now, you'll find that a lot of classes that have a high wisdom will tend to be a little bit better with the perception skill. But because it's so important to have these two skills together for a rogue, this is why we mentioned them. Expertise will double down on your proficiency, and essentially it's going to double it. Is it going to double down? It's doubling down on your proficiencies in a skill. So use it for what you want to excel in. So if you want to excel in stealth, then use expertise with stealth. Okay. If you want to excel in perception, then use expertise with perception. If you want to maximize your efficiency with using thieves' tools, then take expertise in thieves' tools. So what you're trying to do is figure out what you want. I'm not going to tell you what expertise you have to take. You have to decide. This is the thing you're going to be really good at, like super, super good at. Okay, where the numbers are really going to be at your to your advantage. Rogues are better to be specialized in an archetype. So I can't give you advice that says, okay, here's a generic rogue, and if you do this, you're fine, because there are different archetypes or subclasses, and each one does something different. So what you want to do is build to the strength of that archetype. What does that mean? Whatever that archetype or subclass is trying to do, when you first get it, you want to build around that. Okay, you're not necessarily going to get the other features. You may not play long enough with this character, but build around the first main aspects of the archetype or subclass. Okay, specializing. There are some rogues that are very good at collecting information. There are some rogues that are just really good at scouting, and so that you can never find them. There are other rogues that are really good when it comes to information, and so they know lots of stuff, and so you can call on them, and they'll make knowledge checks. This is where you would fall back on intelligence. There are other rogues that are the party face, and maybe they're persuasive, deceptive, maybe even intimidating, and you're going to use charisma a lot more. Or maybe you're dealing with something else. Maybe they are just really good at dealing with the environment and wilderness exploration, and so you'll double down on wisdom. There's lots of different archetypes that deal with different aspects of this. Okay. The best feats for a rogue will generally be alert, I would say would be at the top of the list if you're going to take something. Lucky, Mobile is a very good feat for a rogue. Skulker, a lot of people sort of look at Skulker and say, nah, not a waste of my time, but there are benefits at all, in every aspect of the game. Skulker has some benefits to it. Dual Wielder, particularly if you're going to be wielding light weapons and doing two-weapon fighting, Dual Wielder is a sensible selection. If you're going to be using ranged attacks, then Crossbow Expert might be very useful if you're going to be using a crossbow. Tough can be very useful, and so can Observant, where you want to specialize in being really good at finding information and finding stuff, okay? Don't take Observant if your Dungeon Master doesn't use passive checks. If they don't use passive investigation or passive perception, do not take Observant. If they do use it, then consider taking this if you want it. But it's way at the end of this list. And again, these are all these feats and all these suggestions are based on what you're trying to do with your rogue. I know that doesn't necessarily give you a definitive, but I think that's the best I can do with regard to such a complicated class. So please let me know in the comments how useful this was to you. If you have any questions, please put those questions into the comments section. If you have any advice that you would like to share or experiences, put them in the comments section. I would like to listen to them and see what you have to say. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. All right, let me just get back here. Let's go to the chat. I'm going to just set myself up so I can actually see stuff. We will hopefully get this done in a timely manner. I'm putting on my phone now so I can see the chat from here. We'll go through the chat very quickly. This is where you've got to start thinking about what sort of rogue we're going to make. Normally, I would sort of push us in a particular direction, but I'm not today because it really doesn't matter too much. The two are diverse, and you'll need some dice too, people. If you've got dice close by, good. Shiner81, how's it going again? The doctor is in the house helping the machine, thank you. Jeff is here, hello Jeff. And Seeker, hello Seeker. Yes, we're back to doing this again. I didn't know comments boosted the well, you can. It certainly does help, apparently. I think people watching for a long period of time probably helps more. So the longer people watch and the more they watch is probably more useful than a comment. But yes, apparently that does affect it as well. You've done an Arcane Trickster Rogue to about level 8, so but sadly the DM didn't give me many scenarios where I felt I could use my illusionist. So if you've got a dungeon master who doesn't favor illusions much, then you're probably got to be very careful about picking up the arcane trickster. And I know a lot of people will say things like, if you're playing an arcane trickster, you should have a high intelligence, but actually you don't pick spells that require you to use any ability score whatsoever. You pick spells that are more of a utility function with an arcane trickster, where you don't have to worry about your intelligence being high, or having to depend on any kind of ability check whatsoever. No attack roll, no saving throw. Arcane tricksters actually work probably better when you don't have any dice rolling going on to use your spells, and there are plenty of spells out there that will do that. So yeah. Is it Monster Potato? Hello. You had a guy come up to you with his lowest score being a 17. Yeah, so this is a problem. This is why I say, please roll the dice in front of the Dungeon Master when you're building your character. Hello, Spirit Wolf. How are you doing? Okay, let's... you guys are probably ready by now, and I've caught up with the chat, so we are going to start moving across to our homework location, where we're going to start building a character. And yes, it will be a rogue. And yes, you will be picking some making some choices, people. I won't be. Here we go. Has that got it all up? I think it has. We're going to flick myself over. Windows, there, something like that. Okay, so this is D&D Beyond. And the only reason I'm using D&D Beyond is it's very easy for me to show you how to do this without things getting complicated. That doesn't mean that I won't use something else in the future, because I absolutely will. But for today, my intention is to use D&D Beyond to build the character, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I believe the chat is up on my phone. Spirit Wolf has got his dice ready. For anybody who is unaware, whenever you come to a live stream with me, you always bring dice, okay? Turn on your brain, but bring dice, because I make people roll dice all the time. It happens so much. Okay, so we're going to go into collections at the top here. If you don't have an account with them, my suggestion is go start up an account with them. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no impact on you whatsoever. Go to my characters. I can only have 6 free characters, so I got to see if I've got too many here, and I probably do, so I'm going to delete some. The great thing about this is you can actually select, let's just delete this one here. You can actually, when you delete them, you have to type in the word delete, otherwise it won't delete the character, so you can't accidentally get rid of it, which is a good thing, right? It's a good thing. So we'll get rid of these ones because we don't need them anymore. And now I would normally go in here, once I've done that, my characters, and I go create a character. So I'm going to go in here and show you this first. So there's randomize, quick build, and standard. And then you just click show help text, and then we click this button and we go into it. Now I'll do this, but we're not actually to go in this end, because I'm going to give you, thanks to a subscriber, somebody who supports the channel, they've made it possible for me to use everything that is available. So you can pick anything under the sun today. So we're going to come back out of here. We'll go into here, and I think is it my campaigns? I think it's my campaigns. Here we are. There's a few characters down here, and we can, where is it? Create a campaign, share, view campaign. I think it's that. There we go. I'm in here. This is somebody's campaign that I have joined, and we're going to create a unassigned character. Okay, that's our starting point. Agile Monk, welcome to the live stream. Agile Monk is a patron and supports the channel so I can keep running these classes for people. Yeah, thank you very much for showing up. So we create an unassigned character for this campaign. Yes, you need dice and your imagination. Jean, how's it going? Any outdoors or wilderness rogue would be neat. I think there's some sort of what? Other class for that though. Ranger and rogue can do both. Let's be real. Okay, so we can do we're going to select a character name, so I can randomize it. There's a random button. We can type in whatever we like here if we want to. You can type in Fred, which we're not going to use because I know that will just cause me trouble. You can click here underneath and it says fantasy name generator, and that website's really good for coming up with names. Not just fantasy names, but names from all around the world, different nationalities. It's actually really cool, and I recommend grabbing it and having a look. Give it a try, okay? How's it going? I hope I got your name right. I'm pretty sure it's Jean, right? It's either Joan or Jean. I'm pretty sure it's Jean. But okay, random name. Let's go with a random name. No, I cannot pronounce that. Guron. Guron? I can pronounce it, but it's not a very good name. No, I don't like that. Kalni? I guess Kalni is fine. Kalni will do. Kalni. Okay, we don't want homebrew content. I suppose we could turn that on. Non-core, we'll turn this all on here. It doesn't really matter. You guys want to have a few options, don't you? 3 fingers. 3 fingers. Okay, 3 fingers Hoku. Okay, here we go. Okay, Sean, I was pretty sure it was. Let's change the name. Since somebody's picked me a name, thank you, Spirit Wolf, we'll put it in. Could be male, could be female, could be non-binary. Could go any way. I like it. Cool, let's do that. Now, we don't need to worry about optional class features and customizing your origin unless you want that. Unless people say, I want you to turn those on, we'll just leave them alone, okay? For now. That doesn't mean I'm going to leave them turned off. Advancement type. Advancement type here, we're going to go with milestones, but ask your Dungeon Master, are we using experience points or milestones? Milestones is easy for me. Hit point type, we can go manual, we can type them in manually, or we can use the fixed ones that are generated by the machine of this platform. Turn on feats, multi-classing requirements, blah, 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 that's there if you want it. If you don't have these, then turn them off, okay? Show level scaled spells, so that's all there turned on. Encumbrance, are you using encumbrance rules or not? Turn that on or off. And most important, I'm going to turn off coin weight on this because I'm not worried about encumbrance, frankly. I just want to build the character for you. Okay, so Maurice, hello, how's it going? A female swashbuckler rogue, alias rogue. Right, I get it. I get the joke. So modifiers. The ability score you'll use less often than the modifier. So it's better to have the modifier at the top and have it big. So we're going to leave the modifier at the top, which will be the biggest number, hopefully. And then character privacy, public, because I don't care. Okay, it's fine with me if you see all this stuff. It doesn't matter in the slightest. Okay, so we're ready to go. And we can go back with this button here. It says previous, or we can go forward with next. So we're going to pick a race. We've got all sources are currently available to us. So for those of you who were unaware of how I do things here, I ask my audience, first person, pick a race. Pick a race. Okay. And first person to plug it in that's what we'll do. In fact, while you are deciding on what race you want, I'm going to turn these on. I've changed my mind because I don't know what race you're going to pick. You may pick a race that actually is in a particular book and want a particular thing. So we'll do that. Okay, Spirit Wolf, I got it. Right, you got to be quick here, people. There it is. This is from Monsters of the Multiverse. So that's the one we will take. That means we're going to have to assign and allocate ability scores through our race. They won't be fixed. We'll get to just pick whatever we want to do with it. You're a humanoid. Your size is medium or small. Your speed is 35 feet. What a surprise. Dark vision. My God, a character, a race with dark vision. Who would have guessed it was possible? Haragon available. Yes, Haragon was available. Yes, Baxi was available, but you have to be fast. Variant Human was available, but you got to be fast. It's a rabbit. You're playing rabbit folk, okay? You can hold your breath. Cool. Sounds good to me. You have resistance to lightning damage. Why is it that they have to hold their breath? Can they not just breathe water? It's an air race. Like it's an air race or a water race. No, it's an air race. They can hold their breath. Lightning resistance and mingle with the wind. Some sort of wacky thing going on here. I'm not going to look at it too much. What is it? Nah. Yeah, I'll come back to it later. Let's make some choices instead, shall we? Let's do some stuff. So we've got all that there done. We've got to make our first choice, our size. What size are we going to be? Oh my gosh. The choices. Okay, pick a size. Is it small? Is it medium? Hashtag. Pick a size. Okay. we have a choice here. I'm going to have a drink of water while you guys catch up with... YouTube is probably going to feed the information to me fairly slowly, but that's all right. As you're figuring that out and typing that in, somebody's already got there. That was quick. Nice job. Nice job. Very, very impressed. Let's just make my head a little bit bigger. Is that big enough? There we go. There we go. We'll. I'm a little larger than I was before. For those of you who really wanted to see me. So we are small size. Cool. We've got our size done. Exclamation mark means there's something I have to make a choice about. So we'll go down here and mingle with the wind. So with mingle with the wind, we need to decide what are we going to focus on. Are we going to use, for this, you know the Shocking Grasp cantrip. Starting at level 3, you can cast the Featherfall spell with this trait without requiring material components. Great. Starting at level 5, you can also cast the Levitate spell with this trait without requiring material components. Once you cast Featherfall or Levitate with this trait, you can't cast the spell with it again until you finish a long rest. You can also cast either of these spells using any spell slot you have of the appropriate level. So we can decide which one we're going to use. Is it going to be intelligence? Is it going to be wisdom? Is it going to be charisma? Does that make sense? Yeah, farting thunder. Okay, so what do we want to use? What are we thinking we want to specialize in? Yeah, we're about to make a rogue. Remember, that's the class we're picking. So which one? Wisdom. For saving throws, fine. I didn't even have time to put it in. I just asked a question and like magic, Jean is in there and got it done. Cool. Like that's those choices done. We can move on. That was easy, wasn't it? Right, class, super easy. We don't have to worry about what we're going to pick because we're playing the rogue today. And we've got some ability score improvements. It tells you how it all works here, but we're going to scroll on through and hit the button. We're accepting it. Okay, now, some choices to make for a rogue. They get a lot of stuff, proficiencies. Okay, there's a bunch of these things. You get 4 skills. So, pick 4 skills. Pick 2 skills. I'm going to take perception and stealth straight off the bat, people. Okay, so don't worry about those ones. Hashtag pick 2 skills. First come, first serve. For me, I don't mind what it is. Okay, so while I am picking my... Where is it? Stealth. Because I'm a sneaky person. Not necessarily a bad person. Rogues aren't bad. They just have particular types of skills, people. Just particular types of skills. So you're going to pick 2 skills. I've still got 2 more to go. And we've also got to pick some expertise. Okay? You're probably wondering, well, what's going on here? Well, because we get expertise. We get expertise. Persuasion. Okay, yes, I'll take persuasion as a skill. Persuasion is good. Look, when you pick a rogue, you do not have to just take deception, okay? It's not like all rogues are sneaky, nasty people. You could be playing James Bond, for all I know. Yeah, at least 1 social skill. That's fine, but I need another skill, okay? And then we'll double down on our expertise in a second, because you can take expertise in quite a few different things. Okay, and I don't want to take the expertise until we got all our skills. So I'm waiting for a decision. We have 1 more skill to go. Grab a finger. Type in something. I've got 1. I need another one. Having brain lock. You're having brain lock, Spirit Wolf. It shouldn't be up to Spirit Wolf, people. All of you, look, if you if you are subscribed to the channel, even if you just did it now, you only need 20 minutes and you can start putting in comments, okay? It doesn't have to be up to Spirit Wolf. Come on, people. What are the other skills we're going to pick? Here are the choices. You could have acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, performance, sleight of hand. Like, which one would it be? Are you going to be sneaky? Are you going to steal, pickpocket? That's fine if you want to do that. Let me know. Do you want to do performance because you want to play a musical instrument? That's fine with me. Which one do you want? Do you want to double down and do the investigation and have it work alongside perception? Perception, investigation. Doesn't matter if your bonus to intelligence is not that great. Deception. Okay, thank you, Spirit Wolf. Okay, we've got a decision made. Okay. All right. Now we're going to pick some expertise. We get two choices. Okay, that means we get to pick either deception, persuasion, deception, perception, persuasion, stealth, or thieves' tools. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you, John, for putting in survival. It's a bit late. I just grabbed it. I like, whoever types in faster. Hashtag pick to expertise. Now, I know a lot of people, and I had this argument and discussion with my group, and it was sort of like, you always take expertise in thieves' tools because you're probably the one who's going to have proficiency in thieves' tools, and kind of people expect you to pick locks and disable traps. And so thieves' tools sort of, it's a kind of like a no-brainer, pick that one. But I'm not going to say that. I mean, yes and no, okay? Because there are different types of rogues. Not all rogues, although it does tend to be expected by a rogue that you can do stuff with your thieves' tools really well, you don't have to take it. Proficiency is good enough. Do you know what I mean? So let me know which one you want. Are we taking deception? Is it going to be perception? Is it going to be persuasion? Is this not confusing as what? Those two words together, just screw it all up. Is it going to be stealth? Is it going to be thieves' tools? Musical instrument. We don't have a musical instrument right now. So, yeah. We've only got a few choices. Thieves' tools is fine. That's one down. But yeah, these are our options. Currently what we have. So, Spirit Wolf, thank you for the thieves' tools. We've got that nailed. But what is it going to be? Is it going to be stealth? Is it going to be perception? Is it going to be deception? Is it going to be persuasion? This is going to be one of those days where Spirit Wolf does all of the commenting. I can see it right now. For those of you who are like finding me highly intimidating and scary, you shouldn't, because I'm just a goofball. If you hadn't figured it out, I mean, how do you make Dungeons and Dragons that kind of reads like a textbook more fun and interesting? You ham it up, and hence I am hamming away. So while I ham away and make silly jokes and be like a tosser, you're going to hopefully feel more comfortable about the idea of giving me feedback, and I will write it in stealth. Maurice, thank you very much. We got one. Okay, we can move on. I felt like I was stuck there for a little while. Thank you, Spirit Wolf and Maurice. Doubling down. Yeah, doubling down. We could double down on anything, but that's all good. We've got two. We'll double down. We'll come back to that anyway. Don't worry. You're going to get more of them. You get it at level 1. You get it at level 6. So it's not a. I'm fixed and I can't get any more. Yeah, you're not Oliver. You're not Oliver Twist. Okay, you are definitely picking level 1 because we're starting at level 1. It shows you how you determine your hit points here, which is going to be maximum hit points. You have an 8-sided dice for your hit points plus your constitution modifier. So right now max is 8 at level 1. Okay, no rolling, no average, nothing like that. All right, moving on. Here it gets fun. Like, we are going to get to pick our ability score increases because of our selection. We could do either one, but we won't do that yet. Instead, we need an ability score method. We could go standard array, we could go rolling the dice, we could go point by. It's up to you people. So I'm going to type this in while you are thinking. Hashtag pick ability. Oh, come on. Score. Generation method. Generation method. Now we've done them all so far, so there's I'm not sold on it has to be something in particular. Dicely. Oh, you want to roll dice. Spirit Wolf has already put something in there. God, blimey, that was quick. Anticipation. Jean wants dice as well. We are rolling some dice. Okay, so there's a dice roller on this app if you weren't aware. And so we're going to roll some dice. First off, we're just going to go through and roll each dice. Hopefully the dice don't wind up behind my face, which can happen. So rolling the dice. 4 dice get rolled, and we drop the lowest result on 1 dice. Okay, so they just rolled right into where my face is, so you can't see anything. So we rolled a 5, a 2, and a 1. Not too bad. So we drop the 1, and we get a 12. Let's do it again. Next time, Maurice, we'll do point buy some other time. Moving along. Okay, we've got a 6, a 4, a 2, and a 1, which drop the 1, and we get a 12. It's going to be pretty... Is it going to be straight along the board like this? I'm going to get 12s for all of them. That would be funny. Okay, so what do we got here? We got a 6, a 2, and a 2. That gives us a 14. A 14's a pretty good score. Yep. Let's do the next one. We rolled a 6, a 3, and a 1. We dropped the 1 because it's the lowest dice. We get a 12. Man. We go, oh, look at that. Oh, my God. We're going to keep it, though. We got a 3, a 2, a 1, and a 1. So we drop the 1 and we get a 6. Like, oh, my God. Whatever that is, you're going to be really bad at it. I don't normally build characters that have a dump stat. And I know some Dungeon Masters, if you get less than an 8, they'll make you re-roll it. But I'm not going to do that. This is just amusing as... Oh, we got another really low one as well. We've got a 3, 3, 2, and 2. Okay. So we've got to make some pretty hard decisions. Now, do you remember what I said? Highest ability score should be dexterity because you are a rogue. Okay, so rogue, dexterity, 14. Next highest, well, let's going to make it constitution because we want to stay alive and not die too quickly. We're keeping the 6, we're keeping the 8. Don't you worry about that. We're going to have to figure out how to make this work. Now, at this point, we have some choices, some hard choices to make, right? So we've got 2 12s and a 6 and an 8. So let's assign the 2 12s. What are we going to put the 2 12s into? Is it going to be wisdom, intelligence, strength, or charisma? That's our choices. Maurice, I totally agree. It's one of the reasons why I like point buy too, because I know every single character is got the same level of power going on. Like there's nobody's got an advantage. So, hashtag pick 2 abilities. Ability scores for the 12s. Hopefully that is clear as mud. If it's not, oh, come on, you silly phone. For the 12s. Let me do this. Come on. Okay. The fun role-playing is giggles. Yes. So, I'm looking forward to what you decide. Are we going strength? Are we going intelligence? Are we going wisdom? Are we going charisma? I think probably it would be smart to go at least 112 goes into wisdom, but wisdom and... Okay. Oh, we've got a charisma first as well. Okay, so we're taking charisma because that got in there first, and then we'll take wisdom, and then intelligence. Cool, that kind of changes a lot of things. Like, what's the lowest ability score going to be? Because they're both dumps now. If we go strength, we would literally not be able to do anything. So we probably can't go strength. How much can you actually carry as a rogue if you have a strength of 6? Wouldn't that be bad? And that means we're not building a rogue that does a lot of has a lot of information. They're not they don't know a lot of stuff probably. Yeah, I think I see where you're going with this, people. But yes, we're going charisma and we'll go wisdom, and then I'll go into after that. Because yeah, so let's go with what is the 6 going to be? The 8 should be strength. The 8 should be strength. Yes. So unfortunately, this is not the rogue that you consult when you need to find out information. Apply the ability scores. They're going in. Look at that. Core blimey for a rogue. Bit painful. But the good news is we get to pick an ability score improvement method. Okay, so we need to assign some of these. And this will help even things out maybe. We may be able to fix some of our current dilemmas. So, Agile Monk, you roll it to 15 and you roll a 12. What place? Yeah, what pluses? Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. It's like, so, pick the, what do you call it? Race bonus. 3 +1s. Where is it? +1. Or, where are we? Or +2 and +1. Okay, so we can either have 3 scores, get a +1, or we can get 2 scores. One will have a +2, one will have a +1. So I just need people to let me know which one you like the sound of, and that's the one we'll pick, and we'll go from there. Hard choice, I realize. Look at those numbers. Like, you're trying to think, what's the best thing? Do I try to just get my my 16 decks, or do I try to even out the 6s and the 8s? What a dilemma. I'm going to sit here and just relish the problem that you guys have got ahead of you as I drink my glass of water, or my mug of water. Mandalorian, this is the way. This is the way I make characters online with people. +2 to strength, +1 to int. Okay, Brian, you got it in there first. That's what we're doing. So +1, +2. And the +2 is on the strength. And +1 is on the int. Okay. All right. Okay, so we've evened things out a little bit. I can see there's a few other people who've put in some different ideas. It's all right. Okay. Don't freak out. Is it break time already? It is break time. Oh my gosh. Okay, before I go, I need to give you some homework. So I'm not going to leave until I've done some homework and I've explained things. So our strength was looking really bad, but we've kind of boosted it a little bit. We may be able to fix it up later on when at level 4 and improve that, but we may want to feel like, is it a good idea? 8's not bad though. 8's not terrible, frankly. You can kind of live with that. Did I do it wrong? Strength was 2. Did I put in the +1 or not the +2? Oh, that's the +2. It's the wrong way around, isn't it? Strength +2. And int is +1. Oh, how did I get it run the wrong way? I know what you were trying to do. You were trying to get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Sorry, Brian. I looked at it, and for some reason I must have just picked the wrong ones. That's where it should be. Okay, so our strength is average. Which is a good sign. We might have to do some physical stuff. Dex is a +2, so we get a total of 14. We've boosted our race into the strength one. Our constitution, well, it's hasn't changed. There's nothing much going on there. Our intelligence was a 6. It is now a 7 because we put a racial bonus into that one. Still not going to be great though. We've got a wisdom of 12 and a charisma of 12. So this is a workable character still. So it's not the end of the world. And sometimes they can be fun too. So we have an ear. You can pick an image. There's a little box up the top here that allows you to pick an image. So I suggest you grab an image. Ear, Genasi, got it. Put that in. Or whatever you want to find. It's up to you. We need to pick a language. And there's a whole bunch of languages here. I'm going to say hashtag pick a language. First one to put it in. This rogue needs a do-over. No, this rogue is you're going to just play with this rogue and deal with it, people. You're just going to deal with it. Pick a language. So I can tell you all of them, but I think you can pretty much pick everything under the sun here. Okay. I'm going to take a break and I will come back and we'll see what people have selected. The first choice is the first one I take. So get your votes in quick. I will be back in 5 minutes. Probably less. Alright, climbing back in. Okay. Giant weasel, elf, underdark, dwarvish, Spanish. I don't think they have the option for Spanish here. Should we post a whole lot of tweets on Dungeons and Dragons page about the fact they haven't included Spanish in the list of languages for races in Dungeons and Dragons 5e. We could also include English as well. And anyway, let's get the yeah. Why do they not have the option for English and Spanish? They're leaving some people out. Here we go. Languages. We're doing our background, I believe it is at this point. Is this background? I think we're onto background. Okay. Languages, background languages. Here we go. Let's pick some stuff. Why do I keep... Oh, there we go. There's the language. Sorry, people. Right, languages. Underdark. What the heck is Underdark? Is it deep speech? I think it's... Is it deep speech? Undercommon. That'll be undercommon. Right. So Spirit Wolf got it in there first. So undercommon, I believe, is what they speak in the Underdark. So we'll grab that one. That's fine. Thank you for everybody else's suggestion. I do believe that Giant Weasel sounds very appealing too. We need to have a background. We can have any background we like. I'm Jean. I'm taking the piss. I really am. Okay, I am. Hashtag pick a background. Pick a background. Oh, come on. Can I type it in correctly? Background. There we go. There's the word. Let's go there. So, yes, there's acolyte, archaeologist, anthropologist, astral drifter, athlete. I don't feel like this is an athlete. You certainly don't feel like he's a sage. Undercommon sounds good. I think Undercommon is Underdark. I don't know that I didn't see anything that said Underdark there. So yeah, we need a background, people. This rogue is going to be what? As I said, your background doesn't have to bear any resemblance to your race or your class. Particularly your class doesn't have to have any resemblance to that. It doesn't have to synergize with it properly, or it's just whatever you want it to be. Okay. Musician. Cool. Let's go musician. Thank you, Spirit Wolf. You are on fire. Man, nobody's going to be able to get in a choice today with the way that you're pumping things in. It's called commitment. Why can't I find musician? Is musician should be showing up here? Is it something else? Is it called something else? Because I'm not going to make one called musician. It's got to be Great Weasel Herder. What is musician? Oh, it'll be probably under entertainer, wouldn't it? Musician, entertainer. That'll be that one. There we go. Yeah, acrobatics, performance, disguise kit. Yeah, there we go. There's our musical instrument. Took me a little while, but I got there. Okay, we need a musical instrument, people. And our skills are not the ones we've already picked, which is kind of nice. And we have disguise kit as a tool proficiency, which is kind of nice too. So what do you got here? Performance, entertainer, I think. Yeah, no, you're right, Maurice. We've got it. I've got the right one. I just need an instrument. Pick an instrument. Hashtag. Pick a musical instrument. By gum, bagpipes. I knew the bagpipes were coming. Every character that we make so far has had, almost all of them seem to have, it's either flute or bagpipes. Spirit Wolf, are your descendants from Scotland by any chance? You do not have to answer that question, okay? So don't feel like you have to answer that question. By popular demand, that is one of our features. And I know a lot of people don't particularly like the features for backgrounds, but okay, never mind. Don't worry, don't freak out too much about it. Rolling dice time, people. Banjo. Well, yeah, it's bagpipes today, people. Bagpipes. He got it in fast. Brian, you're working hard there. It's a windy person. Okay. All right, so hashtag, we need two 8-sided dice rolled for our personality traits. That's what we're working with first, okay? So hashtag roll 2d8 dice. Let's see what we get. Frankenstein is on his way. Something windy. Yeah, well, it is. I think bagpipes are classified as a wind instrument of some kind. Don't. There's a lot of air going in there. Oh, I see. An air Jasani. Oh, I get it. Bagpipes. Blowing. Air. I get it. No, it didn't quite. Panpipes or flute would have been good too. A wind instrument. I see the pattern. Okay. Spirit Wolf, you got a 5 and a 3. For those of you who are trying to keep up with Spirit Wolf, we are going to be rolling 3 6-sided dice next for the other aspects of our character. So 3 6-sided dice. If you can get them in there fast enough before Spirit Wolf can, you're doing well. But let's see what your 5 gives us. I love a good insult, even one directed at me. Really, I actually don't find that very easy to deal with nowadays. Frankly, nowadays I tend to just lose my nut and go crazy inside or crazy outside. But this is not me, is it? This is a character. I'm a hopeless romantic, always searching for that special someone. Okay, marking that one down. And now we're going to be doing some more dice rolling. Remember, we need the ideals, the bonds, and the flaws. And so we need one of each. So, hashtag roll 3 D6 dice. And by the time I roll and put this in, there'll probably already be 3 numbers waiting for me. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Come on, people. We've got a few more things to do. I want to get this done. We want to get this character built, finished. We want to pick some equipment. We want to turn some things on. So, for anybody who has not been part of these, where we build a character together, there is a lot of us taking the piss, okay? Okay, Spirit Wolf is in there again. 2, 5, and 1. Okay, so what is ideals? 2, tradition. The stories, legends, and stories of the past must never be forgotten, for they teach us who we are. Lawful. Fine. Only problem is that I bet that this rogue forgets those stories, legends, and songs all the time. But we're still going to pick it. Their memory ain't that great. Okay, next one. 5 is bond. I will do anything to prove myself superior to my hated rival. Well, yeah, we can deal with that. Yeah, let's do that. What's the flaw, though? The flaw is 1. I'll do anything to win fame and renown. Well, that is a bit of a problem. Let's pick that one for sure. Okay. So all of our different things should have shown up here. Oh, we need to pick a lifestyle. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, it's better that I get somebody saying something quickly anyway. But I'll tell you what, you just put in your thing, Spirit Wolf, and if somebody comes up after you and I spot it, then I will pick it over yours. How's that sound? If you feel like you're imposing, but it's actually good for me if people get stuff out there quickly. So pick a lifestyle. I just love that you interact so much, Spirit Wolf. Okay. Pick a lifestyle. So what about... no, that's an alignment. We don't want that one. Get that out of the way. Faith. I'll just put it neutral. Faith, you can put it in whatever you want. You just pick something and then you're all good. So, we want a lifestyle, people. Is it going to be wretched, squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, aristocrat? Gosh, if we go aristocrat now, there's nothing left to spend, but hey, I can live with that if that's what you want. So, as we wait for somebody to comment and give us what sort of lifestyle this character is going to have, we will proceed. Now, you're probably not going to be picking lifestyle stuff unless your Dungeon Master insists on it or you're playing Dungeons & Dragons Adventurers League. I think a lot of the time this winds up being used by somebody else. All right, so Maurice, you've got a faith. Let's put that in. And the rich, wealthy. I'm assuming you mean wealthy, Spirit Wolf. Poor, Maurice. Okay, I'll take Maurice's one. Maurice has gone with poor. You're a poor. And we'll go with Timora. Timora. Thank you. That was good. Did I do that right? Yes. steps and just, yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying here. Like, yeah, a lot of the time people do just skip this bit, and I get it. So this is all the aspects of your physical characteristics of your character. You can put them in here. I'm not going to do anything with this, but you just type in whatever you want. And then we've got our personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. We can actually go in and edit them. Remember, we can actually go in there and just change stuff if we want to. It's up to you. So you don't need to be fixed to this. You don't feel like, I can't just make up my own. You can make up your own. Yep. And then our notes section. This gives us where we can put our organizations, our allies, enemies, backstory goes in here, and other notes. And there's just a little button that says add notes, and then you just type it in. Okay. Talos the Storm God. I've got a video I'm supposed to do on that. Anyway, let's move on to the next step on this journey that we are taking together. Okay, so this is equipment. As I have said before, pick equipment. Okay, use the starting equipment stuff rather than just use the gold. Okay, it's just so much easier. There's a few choices to make. Are we going rapier or short sword? Are we going short bow or short sword? So do we? And it would make sense to take short bow at some point, right? Are we going a burglar's pack, a dungeoneer's pack, an explorer's pack? We need to pick a starting. We're not going to pick a starting piece of musical instrument, one of your choice. It's got to have to be bagpipes. Like, we're proficient in bagpipes, right? Why would we not have bagpipes? Rapier. Okay, picking the rapier. Okay. And then, is it going to be a short bow or a short sword? I've already picked the rapier, people. By the way. And there's a couple other things. We need to have a lock of hair, or a trinket, or a love letter. So we decide what we want. Okay. Short drow. Short bow is getting in there fast. We're in a rush, aren't we? Okay, so our pack. Pick a pack. Pick a pack of pickled pepper. Pick a pack. Pick a pack of pickled pepper. Saxophone. I don't think we had saxophone as an option for our musical instrument, but I'll have a look. Jean, I agree. You got the short bow, got the explorer's pack. Yes, you got in there, mate. Well done. Okay, we've got it. Okay, we just need to know: are we going with a love letter? Are we going with a lock of hair or a trinket? Like, what do we want? And I will check to see if there's a saxophone. But we're not actually proficient in saxophone, are we? See, it's not there. See, it has to be bagpipes. Burgers. You want burgers? What's burger? I don't understand that. Trinket, lock of hair, or love letter. Hashtag. Did somebody just type something in? Tuba. No, not a tuba. Hashtag. Come on, people. Don't derail too much. Pick. Hashtag pick. Come on, pick. Letter. Here. Or trinket. I really like the trinkets in Dungeons and Dragons 5e. I think they're a great addition. A burglar. What do you mean by a burglar? Come on. Keep with it, people. Keep with it. So we need to know, do we want a love letter? Do we want a lock of hair? Or do we want a trinket? And then we're going to buy some stuff. And every time you do this, when you select your starting equipment, make sure you hit the red button at the bottom that says add starting equipment when you've selected it. Trinket. Trinket it is. Okay. And starting. There we go. Now, once we get to our equipment, we need to actually make sure we do some stuff. We're not going to use the arrows. We're just going to leave that bit. But we need to use the backpack. We need the daggers, we need to wield at least one of them because we need to know what the stats are because the software package will do that for us. We need to wear the leather, otherwise it won't take into consideration the armor class of wearing leather. So make sure you're wearing it. The rapier, wield it, even though you're not necessarily wielding it with your character, at least do the maths for it by wielding it. Short bow, wield that as well. Okay, so that it gives you the maths. That's all that you're trying to do here. You're not actually physically carrying the thing right now. Okay, it's just to do the maths. Okay, now once we've done that, I believe we are ready to move on. We've got plenty of gold to spend. View the character. Oh, the burglar's pack. I didn't actually know what's in each. I just offered one. Well, whatever you offered is what I picked. Okay. Okay, so here are our bonuses along the top. This character's probably gonna struggle a little bit against everybody else, but that's life. So our actions are listed here. Okay, shock and grasp, our bow attack, our rapier, how to hit, what damage we do is all listed here. Very, very helpful. Okay, and you can break it down into attacks, actions, bonus actions if you have any, just that. Spells if you have any. We've got one spell that would be listed here. And then we're going to go into inventory. Inventory shows us what we have. And this is where we're going to buy some stuff. Let's buy some equipment. Hashtag. Pick. We've got 15 gold pieces. Pick some equipment. Right there. Okay, so while you're deciding what you're doing, people, I'm going to go into manage inventory. And, my head is in the way. Just give me a second while I move my big head. Because I don't need to have my head in the way, do I? I could actually put my head over here and make it a little bit smaller. Transition over. It's like he moves around constantly. Okay. A thief, can it steal a guard dog? I have no idea. The last time, look, we tried looking for dogs last time. Remember how difficult that was? Right, so I'm going to go with the healer's kit before anybody says anything. That's my choice. Healer's kit. There it is. Healer's kit is 5 gold pieces. I'm going to add that item to my backpack. I am going to go into my currency and I'm going to remove 5 gold. I've got 10 gold left, but we're not finished. So come on, people. What is the next thing that I need to go and get? I mean, I can type in dog, but I don't think it's going to bring up dog. Dog. Oh. Oh, that's gear. A sled dog. Oh, there is a dog. Dogs are 25. Oh, we might be able to afford it. 20 gold pieces for a sled dog. Was it a common dog? The dog sled is 20 gold pieces. What about the actual sled dog? That's 50 gold pieces. Oh. There must be a different dog as well. So no dogs for today. We don't have enough money. Okay, but we could get something else. So no dogs. What other stuff do you think would be useful for a rogue so that the rogue does not 10-foot pole, right? Pole. And we've discovered that you can actually get the pole. It's super cheap, so we're just going to grab one and equipment. We'll just add it to there. Done. We've got a pole, and we're going to keep going. Pole's always nice. Anything else that we would like to sort of select? There's plenty of things. Do you want to know what we've already got? There's a lot of gear here. We've got thieves' tools, a short bow, rapier, leather armor. We've got a couple of daggers, arrows, bagpipe, clothes, costume, blah, blah, blah. And then we have in our backpack, we have a bedroll, healer's kit, mess kit, rations, one day worth of rations. Okay, caltrops, ball bearings, and chalk. Okay, now we're talking. There we go. These are things I can understand. Woodcutter axe. Okay, all right. Caltrops. There they are. There's the caltrops, and they're very cheap. Caltrops. Okay, so we'll add them to my backpack. Ball bearings. Ball bearings, there they are. Okay, it doesn't list the cost, but I'm pretty sure it's about 1 gold piece, but I'll check in a second. Okay, ball bearings, caltrops. D&D Beyond is great, but there are some things that seems to leave out, and ball bearings are 1 gold piece. I kind of figured that was the case. So let's go into currency, and we'll deduct one of them, and then our caltrops should be expensive too. I think it's 1 gold piece as well. Caltrops, bag caltrops is also another gold, so that's gone. We're going to get some chalk as well. Remove that from our, we've got 8 gold left, and we need chalk. Where am I going to put this? I'm just going to leave it on my, it's on my lap. Chalk. A bullseye lantern, good one, that's a good idea. Bullseye, no, chalk. Chalk, there it is. Chalk is cheap, so let's get 10. We can get 1, but we can give everybody a piece of chalk. They're cheap ass, like, you know. Don't be stingy. Okay, chalk, what else do we have? Silk rope grappling hook. Do we not have a silk rope and a grappling hook? Woodcutter's axe was on here, so an axe. Axe. No, not an axe beak. What do I want an axe beak for? Woodcutter's axe. That's expensive though, isn't it? That's like a magic item. It doesn't have a cost because it's a magic item. We can't have that. Yester Hill's axe. No, that ain't gonna work. That's an axe beak. Oh, you can actually, oh, okay. This is actually the animal. Okay, so we won't be able to do an axe. Find a dungeon and start poking things. yeah, exactly. Silk rope and the right. So that's actually makes a lot of sense. We could probably do those things. I'm pretty sure we don't have a grappling hook. We do have hemp rope, but we'll get the grappling hook to start off with, and then we'll see if we can get the rope as well. Grappling hook. There it is, grappling hook. And it's 2 gold, so we'll get one of them to our backpack. And we'll slide on down here, currency, and we got to 2 gold, I believe. We've got 6 gold left. We want hemp rope next, don't we? No, we want silk rope. You said silk rope. I see it's silk rope. Let's just type in rope and see what we get. Rope, hemp, silk. How much is that? 10 gold for the silk rope. We don't have enough. We do have hemp rope, so I think we're going to have to just live with that for now. Okay? Yeah, Jean, you're right. I did see that it was hemp rope, but he wanted silk rope. I know the reason why it's lighter, but yeah. You do need a light. There's torches in the kit to complements. Yeah, dark vision, Yes, absolutely. Smoke bombs. I don't think we'll get smoke bombs. Fine ground flour. A bag of flour. About a hatchet, like a tool. Yeah, I get. Yep. Yes, knotting the rope. That's actually very true. So knotting the rope actually makes a big difference. But look, we'll have we'll have 2 pieces of rope. How's that sound? Are we happy with that? Okay, all right. One is knotted, one is not. There you go. Okay, to my backpack. There we go. So there's some more money gone. Let's go to the currencies and then take off the gold. I think it is 1 gold for the hemp rope, isn't it? Rope. Ropity rope. I can't see it. I'm blind. No, it is 1 gold. Yeah. And remove. Okay, so we've got 5 gold left, and then somebody was saying something about a lantern. And I think it was a bullseye lantern somebody mentioned, or was it flower? I think there was a lantern mentioned. Yeah, bullseye lantern. Okay, lantern. Let's see if we can get a lantern, eh? Because even if you've got dark vision, it's always good to have a lantern. Bullseye lantern might be expensive, though. 10 gold, not going to be enough money. Sorry, people. We do have torches already. What other things? We could get just a hooded lantern. Why can't I see hooded lantern here? Bullseye lantern, hooded lantern. Lantern hood. There we go. There it is. There we go. We got the hooded lantern. Part of our equipment. And the 5 gold for that. I think that's... Oh, we're out of money. Oops. The flour, you're going to have to steal the flour, people. Okay. You're sneaky. You should be able to pull that off. Go have to buy this. Steal the smoke bombs or save that up. You have to go and do some quests. Make some money. Get a job, right? Get a job. Hatchet. These are all good ideas, people. Piped, funny tobacco manacles. Yes, yeah. Securing people is a good idea, but we've got plenty of rope. We can do that. That'll have to work for now. Drinking flasks. Yes, if you want them. Yes, thumb cuffs. Really. Metal paint. I can see where we're going with all of this. Gold metal paint by any chance? Okay. Dear. Okay, so that is our character. It's all built for us. We just scroll down. We can see the whole thing. Yes, you can export it. You can print the thing off D&D Beyond. And that's the basics of building a rogue. And we did it in a reasonable, timely manner. And I don't know about you, but I thought it was quite entertaining and fun to do. If you did not find it entertaining and fun, then that's cool. I'm in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place for you. But I don't think we could have made it any more fun than that. Okay, seriously. Anyway, all I'm going to say is I want to thank everybody who's participated. You're probably wondering why I'm not sticking around, but tomorrow I'm doing the basics to combat mechanics. Okay, and that means maps, miniatures, dice, because I can do that now. I've got I've got 2 cameras operating at this present time, so I can do that sort of thing. But I've got my slideshow and I want to push it up to 4K. So I'm going to go do some homework, and I will see you tomorrow at the end of the week. So tomorrow is a live stream, explain, demonstrate, and Q&A, maps, miniatures, dice, basic combat mechanics. That's what's happening tomorrow. You'll see it come up pretty shortly on my community tab. The day after, how to run Ravenloft as a one-shot for Halloween. Okay, I try to figure out how to do it so it's nice and simple. It's not complicated. You don't have to change too much. Like, you can just make it happen. So that's what's coming. Okay, all right. So the brandy flask, the oil flask, all brilliant ideas, people. But we've run out of money. And when you've run out of money, you kind of have to wait, or you have to steal it, or you have to make some money. You have to get a job. Get a job. Get a job. Okay. All right. I just want to say thank you to my patrons who support me so I can keep running these classes. Thank you to everybody who's been coming and joining in with the live streams and participating, giving feedback. It's really helpful if you do, because it actually makes the whole experience a lot more interesting for me and for everybody else, frankly. You got to be quick, though. You got to be quick. Thank you for watching the replays of my live streams and my edited videos. And wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.